Words create a miracle from third fatty were extremely grating to Wang Kuan and Chunlan. They shouted in unison, create a miracle my ass. I think you're the one who's gone crazy. The old master standing on the competition stage ordered all the disciples to step onto the arena. One by one, they stepped forward. A contestant who happened to be walking with Xiang Tian was immediately approached by another contestant who reminded him, aren't you watching where you're going? Stay away from Xiang Tian. Then he began to whisper into the other contestant's ear, right now, whoever is near him is considered unlucky. Be careful not to get involved. The Sidhu clan, the Yin clan, and the Ho clan are all dealing with him. Neutrals like us shouldn't get involved in this matter. On the fighting floor, they were clearly divided into 5 factions. The Sidhu clan, the Yin clan, the Ho clan, the neutral faction, and Li Xiang Tian. Bao Jun appeared extremely amused to meet Xiang Tian again. He would show Xiang Tian what manners were. Xiang Tian couldn't be bothered. He said to them wearily, it's called a battle royale, but it seems this so-called battle royale is just you all ganging up on me, isn't it? Xiang Tian paid them no mind. In his eyes, they're just a bunch of people who used backdoors. Using backdoors and still daring to call themselves elites, he felt embarrassed for them. Xiao Quan cracked his knuckles, starting to intimidate him. Not crippling you. Letting you die without a burial place would be a disgrace to us. Bao Jun pointed with his 5 fingers and ordered, everyone, stop wasting words. Get him. One by one, they rushed forward, launching a chain of attacks on Xiang Tian. Xiang Tian used the heavenly demon god claw to defend. He swept his hand, and the group was immediately thrown far away. While fighting, Xiang Tian observed the situation. There were currently a total of 36 people, including 11 neutrals and 25 enemies. Xiang Tian glanced at the group of neutrals standing behind him. If he could pull those neutrals over to his side, perhaps he would have a chance to turn the tables. Bao Jun took the opportunity while Xiang Tian was distracted, rushing forward to seize the chance to finish him. But unfortunately, Xiang Tian saw through his plot and blocked his attack with his hand. Both were pushed back by the force of the opponent's impact. Xiang Tian proactively spoke to the neutral group. You people don't belong to these factions. Why not help me? How about it? Together, you can overthrow the Yin clan, the Ho clan, and Tu Kuang's 3 factions. That way, you'll have a chance to enter the preparatory class of Tongtian Academy. But this group paid no attention to Xiang Tian's words. Xiang Tian had no other choice but to rely on himself. He used the acupoint striking hand to attack someone who was trying to attack him. The crowd of them grew larger and larger. While fighting this group, he tried his best to persuade the neutral group to join forces with him. Bao Jun found Xiang Tian's words extremely ridiculous. He rushed forward again, his face tilted up, full of contempt for Xiang Tian. Li Xiang Tian, you can barely protect yourself and you still talk like that? Surrounded on all sides, Xiang Tian couldn't avoid Bao Jun's attack, and his shoulder was grazed by the sword. He had to change his plan. Xiang Tian suddenly ran forward, with Bao Jun chasing behind. But his face showed an unpredictable, sinister expression as he moved into the crowd of neutrals. Bao Jun stood in front and loudly demanded that they quickly get out of the way. He was extremely impatient, hastily using his whip to strike them, forcing them to make way for him. The neutral group was extremely bewildered, not understanding what Bao Jun was trying to do. A girl covered her face and asked him, Ho Bao Jun, we didn't provoke you. Why did you strike me? Bao Jun only said one word, scram. Who the hell do you think you are to question me? The neutral group began to feel indignant at Bao Jun's attitude. At this moment, Xiao Quan also stepped forward. He demanded that the neutral group quickly get out of the way and not obstruct him. Then he summoned his 6th grade purple gold python to the battle, ordering the spirit beast to kill everyone who was blocking his way to destroy Xiang Tian. The python knocked down everyone in front of it, its tail moving towards Xiang Tian, then whipped him hard, sending him flying backward. The neutrals fell and got back up. They asked Xiao Quan, striking so viciously, do you want to kill us? What do you take us for? To beat and curse us as you please. Xiao Quan felt he was not at fault. He replied nonchalantly, if you want to blame someone, blame Xiang Tian for running towards you. I advise you to voluntarily give up the competition. Otherwise, if you get injured or killed, don't blame me. This was exactly what Xiang Tian wanted to see. He took this opportunity to say to the neutral group, everyone, do you see clearly now? These nobles don't see you as anything. If you really want to get into the preparatory class of Tongtian Academy, fight with me to the end and you'll still have a chance. Otherwise, I also advise you to give up voluntarily. As expected, these words from Xiang Tian hit their sore spot. Their eyes burned with fire as they looked at Xiang Tian. This time, Xiang Tian took the initiative to charge forward and attack. Bao Jun seeing Xiang Tian's hasty appearance, Bao Jun naturally felt excited. He cast a spell, summoning his white-haired red ghost spirit beast to appear. Tu Kuang stood on the sidelines, observing. He was in no hurry to act. Xiang Tian was not afraid at all. He stepped forward with his fists, declaring loudly, if I, Xiang Tian, dared to enter Qingzhou Academy, it proves that I dare to compete. Compete for resources, compete for luck, compete for a hero's heart, a valiant will. If you're always afraid of this and that, what's the point of cultivating? Bao Jun's spirit beast rushed to attack Xiang Tian. Xiang Tian proactively retreated, then suddenly changed direction. He aimed for Tu Kuang, kicking him in the face. Tu Kuang's nose bled as he fell to the ground. Xiao Quan and Bao Jun turned pale with fear. They couldn't believe Xiang Tian would pull such a move. After giving Tu Kuang a kick, Xiang Tian turned to the neutral players and said to them, "Everyone, since its establishment, the preparatory class of Tongtian Academy has been monopolized by those noble prodigies. At this critical moment, will you all agree to follow me and change Qingzhou Academy?" Xiang Tian's words ignited their determination at just the right moment, filling them with a burning desire to go with Xiang Tian. A tall, sturdy young man stepped out from the crowd. He said to Xiang Tian, "I'll trust you this once. Whether we succeed or fail, I will fight alongside you." He proactively walked to his side, introducing himself as Li Erniu from Wangjia Village in Qingzhou City. He came from a family of blacksmiths and, having some strength, accidentally embarked on the path of cultivation. Erniu recounted to Xiang Tian what his father had told him. Now, Erniu is the hope of the entire village. Therefore, he must get into the preparatory class of Tongtian Academy. If he can't, it would be a great loss of face for the people of Wangjia. In Xiang Tian's eyes at this moment, Erniu was indeed naive and honest, but it was good that someone had stepped up to help him. At this time, Tu Kuang had also regained consciousness, holding his face as he slowly stood up. His underlings also began to rush towards Xiang Tian to attack him. Erniu stepped up to fight. He summoned his bloodline spirit beast to the field. The blood fist spirit beast appeared, using a series of punches to attack those who were approaching. Erniu's technique greatly surprised Xiang Tian. He didn't think Erniu could be so powerful. His spirit beast was like Schwerer's, a bloodline spirit beast that wasn't a pet beast, but a fist. Xiang Tian's mind reeled. He wanted to know why Erniu had cultivated something like this. The little pig appeared again, saying to Xiang Tian, "This fool is interesting. He only cultivated one part of his bloodline spirit beast, and he can fight using just that part." Xiang Tian was puzzled and wanted the little pig to confirm it again. So he asked, "One part? You mean his bloodline isn't just a fist, but this fist is only a part of his bloodline spirit beast?" The little pig watched Erniu fight while explaining in the simplest way to Xiang Tian, "Yes, something like that. This method of cultivating a bloodline spirit beast was lost long ago in ancient times. I didn't expect it to appear in this fool." Xiang Tian gradually remembered. No wonder he didn't see this method of cultivating a bloodline spirit beast when he traveled through the myriad worlds. It turned out to have been lost since ancient times. One danger had not passed before another arrived. The two spirit beasts of Xiao Quan and Bao Jun flew towards where Xiang Tian was standing. Bao Jun arrogantly threatened him. "Last time my white-haired red ghost hadn't fully evolved and you poked a hole in it. This time, I will devour your soul." Bao Jun's spirit beast roared. Xiang Tian's face darkened. This Bao Jun was trying to use a soul attack technique on him. Xiang Tian regained his composure, closing his eyes to sense everything. Then he suddenly opened his eyes and said to Bao Jun, "Unfortunately, it's useless against me." He threw a punch at Bao Jun's face, making him spit blood and fall to the ground once again. Bao Jun struggled to sit up, grinding his teeth audibly, his eyes filled with rage as he looked at Xiang Tian. The underlings charged forward again, surrounding and attacking him from all sides. Xiang Tian turned the tables, throwing them back, but he couldn't avoid the attack from behind, causing him to fall to the ground. Erniu hurriedly ran to protect Xiang Tian. Xiao Quan rushed over. He would not spare anyone who chose to follow Xiang Tian. His hand blazed with fire as he punched Erniu's shoulder. But it was he who was bewildered. Erniu smiled brightly, placing a hand on Xiao Quan's shoulder. "I'm a blacksmith. My body is very tough." Then he retaliated with his own powerful fist, and Xiao Quan was actually knocked to the ground by a nobody in front of everyone. Erniu's performance made Xiang Tian extremely excited. He turned to look at the neutral group again and said, "You all saw that. You are not inferior to those noble disciples, so why not fight a great battle with me? Win or lose, it will be a thrilling experience." Fai Ni was furious, deliberately raising her voice to provoke Xiang Tian's pride. "Where's the arrogant Xiang Tian from before? Now you're uniting with commoners to protect yourself, and you call yourself a genius?" Fai Ni kept talking, always using the Situ Huangfu clan to threaten Xiang Tian. Tu Kuang arrogantly pointed his 5 fingers at Xiang Tian. "You peasants, whoever dares to help Xiang Tian, I will not spare." A green-haired man with a fierce face stepped out. He couldn't take it anymore. Then others stepped forward one by one, saying in unison to Tu Kuang, "Win or lose, we will fight." Is the Situ Huangfu clan so great? They don't treat us like humans, so let's fight first and talk later. Tu Kuang sneered. If they wanted to oppose the Situ Huangfu clan, he would definitely not spare any of them. The two factions clashed, and the battle grew increasingly fierce. Tu Kuang summoned his Storm Berserker Lion Spirit Beast to the field. His Spirit Beast appeared, let out a roar, and the people from the opposing side were immediately knocked to the ground. A moment later, just when it seemed Erniu had the upper hand, who would have thought that Bao Jun and Xiao Quan would team up to take Erniu down? The neutral faction was beaten badly, lying scattered on the ground. Tu Kuang shouted an order, "Go attack Xiang Tian." Tu Kwang's spirit beast suddenly appeared behind Xiang Tian, but it didn't attack him, pausing for a moment, which made Xiang Tian feel very confused. It turned out nothing was by chance. The little pig was using its tiny strength to pull the lion's tail. The fierce lion violently flung its tail. The little pig hurriedly flew to Xiang Tian's side. Ernie struggled to his feet and said to Xiang Tian, "They have too many people. I'm afraid we can't win." Faced with this critical situation, Xiang Tian was very calm. He said to Ernie, "To catch bandits, first catch the king. Ernie, you deal with Xiao Quan. As for Bao Jun and Tu Kwang, leave them to me." Ernie reminded Xiang Tian, Tu Kwang is one of the two geniuses in this new batch of disciples. Bao Jun had already entered Qingzhou Academy before, and this time he's intentionally retaking the exam to win a spot in the preparatory class. Don't fight them head on. Ernie felt there was no hope left and wanted Xiang Tian to admit defeat. Xiang Tian stopped in his tracks. He glanced at Ernie. Ernie even knows how to admit defeat. It seems he's not that stupid. Xiang Tian didn't care. He took the initiative to attack Bao Jun first. To him, whether he won or lost, he would fight first and talk later. Xiang Tian said to the little pig, "I need to activate my second bloodline spirit beast. Buy me some time." The little pig's face suddenly showed interest. It said to Xiang Tian joyfully, "Then hurry up. This divine dragon is very lonely. I want a little brother for a long time." The little pig flew in front of Bao Jun's spirit beast, suggesting they stop fighting for a bit. The spirit beast was filled with killing intent. Why would it listen to what the little pig said? Its attitude made the little pig very angry. But then it put on an annoying face. Fighting back and forth is so tiring. Let's play rock, paper, scissors. How about it? It saves energy and you won't get hurt. The arm hidden in the sleeve of Bao Jun's spirit beast was revealed. It roared at the little pig, making the little pig very uncomfortable. The little pig breathed fire, kicking Bao Jun's spirit beast in the jaw. Its teeth shattered, and not only that, it couldn't keep its balance and fell backward. The little pig touched its leg, sweating as it said, "Luckily, after eating so many of Xiang Tian's Tianyuan stones, I finally evolved a toenail. Otherwise, it would have been bitten off." At the same time, Xiang Tian stood alone in the middle of the field. He had traveled the myriad heavens and worlds, bringing back the 7 strongest bloodlines of all heavens. He had previously activated the ancestral dragon bloodline. Now is the time for him to activate the strongest bloodline of the plant system. His body emitted an abundant stream of bloodline power. The onlookers looked at him with confused eyes. No one knew what Xiang Tian was trying to do. Could it be that he wanted to die, to break through at such a time? Xiang Tian's energy made the trees bloom. He gently lifted a giant tree in his hand. The sky seemed to be affected by him. Everyone stared blankly, their faces unable to hide their astonishment. The spirit beast that Xiang Tian possessed was a rare plant-type spirit beast. Bao Jun was still skeptical of Xiang Tian's ability at this point. He shouted, "Stop playing mysterious. Standing still for so long, are you scared?" Then, not knowing life from death, he proactively rushed towards Xiang Tian, but was blocked by the little pig. The little pig pointed at Bao Jun's face. It suddenly became kind to its opponent. Right here, right now, it would tell Bao Jun the secret of his birth. The little pig continued to speak mysteriously to Bao Jun. "I'll tell you, but don't tell anyone else." Then it flew close to Bao Jun and whispered, "It turns out, I am your father." Bao Jun screamed, startling the little pig. He was furious, ordering his spirit beast to kill the little pig. The little pig cried out, hurriedly running to Xiang Tian for help. Just in time, Xiang Tian successfully cultivated his strongest bloodline. He began to activate it. His spirit beast transformed into a human form that even surprised him. The little pig flew to hide behind the tree's spirit beast, saying to her coquettishly, "Little sister, save me." This girl put on a weak appearance. She said to the little pig, "I'm scared of fighting." But her words and actions were completely opposite. Her vine struck Bao Jun and his spirit beast, making them spit blood, which stunned both Xiang Tian and the little pig. The people below were even more bewildered, gossiping more about Xiang Tian. As far as they knew, only a few peerless geniuses could activate a second bloodline spirit beast. They just didn't expect Xiang Tian to be able to do it too. Finey was more surprised than anyone, unable to believe that Xiang Tian could possess 2 spirit beasts, and one was even a rare plant type. Tu Kwang was still unwilling to give up. He and his lion spirit beast charged forward, determined to fight Xiang Tian to the death. Ernie really couldn't stand it anymore. So many people ganging up on one honest person. Ernie would absolutely not allow this to happen. He swung his fist and rushed towards them. The little pig acted like a big brother to the plant spirit beast, pointing forward and saying, "Little sis, take care of them." The girl's face blushed. She looked shy and stammered in reply to the little pig, "I don't dare." Her actions once again contradicted her words. She released her vines. tying up the people who were trying to attack her. These people couldn't even breathe. Ernyu took this opportunity, rushing forward like a flash of lightning and punching one of them away. The neutral faction took advantage of this chaotic situation, urging each other to rush forward and help Xiang Tian. The neutral faction, with the help of the tree person, began to attack more fiercely and relentlessly. The lion spirit beast rushed at the girl, growling threateningly at her, but it was still bound hand and foot by her vines, rendering it unable to move. The little pig jumped on its head, sitting majestically on the head of the king of the jungle. It patted the lion's head, saying in an arrogant tone, "Be good, or my little sister will teach you how to be a beast." At this time, Xiang Tian also began to act, aiming for Tu Kuang. Tu Kuang hastily drew his sword and charged headfirst at Xiang Tian. His action was what Xiang Tian was waiting for. He used the heavenly demon god claw, his hand transforming unpredictably, crushing Tu Kuang underneath. He stood before Tu Kuang and declared to him, "Tu Kuang, who the hell do you think you are to dare to be arrogant with me?" Then he ordered the world tree to continue its grafting flowers onto a tree technique. The vines from the girl's body extended, stabbing straight into Tu Kuang's left and right chest. Tu Kuang now knew what fear was. His face darkened. He wanted to know what Xiang Tian wanted to do to him. The corner of Xiang Tian's mouth lifted. He emphasized each word to him. "Tu Kuang, before your older brother extracted my bloodline, today I will return the favor." Tu Kuang struggled to stand up. He didn't believe Xiang Tian would dare to treat him like this. Even in this situation, Tu Kuang was still defiant, threatening to rip out Xiang Tian's tendons. Xiang Tian was very curious to see how he would turn the tables, threatening him with just himself. Xiang Tian ordered his bloodline, World Tree, cripple his bloodline. The World Tree immediately followed Xiang Tian's command. The two vines glowed. The World Tree glowed, its face seemingly enjoying it. Tu Kuang's spirit beast was also affected. It let out a painful roar, throwing the little pig off its head. The little pig flew in front of the lion again, saying things it shouldn't at this moment. "I just discovered you're a female. It's a pity I can't save you either. Get a new master in your next life." Fai Ni, sitting below, could no longer remain silent. She shouted for Xiang Tian to stop. Otherwise, the Situ Huangfu clan would absolutely not let him go. Tu Shui would tear him into 100 pieces. Xiang Tian let out a laugh. "Do I look scared?" He replied to Fai Ni, "The Situ Huangfu clan and I are already in a fight to the death." "Fai Ni, isn't it too childish for you to say these words now?" Shui turned to yell at the judging panel. "Despicable. Are you from Qingzhou Academy just going to stand by and watch Tu Kuang be crippled like this?" Instructor Lin snorted, stepped onto the competition stage, and loudly told Xiang Tian to stop. Fei Yang also intervened in the match at this moment. He threw his wine gourd directly at Instructor Lin. He said to Instructor Lin, "You dare to interfere in my junior brother's match. Do you still understand the rules?" Instructor Lin's face darkened. He asked Fei Yang in return if he wanted to make an enemy of the Situ Huangfu clan. Fei Yang couldn't care less. He casually took a sip of wine and said, "After the Great Vogue dynasty split, the world was divided into 10 great imperial mansions. So what if I'm not in the Situ imperial mansion? What can they do to me?" Instructor Lam was rendered speechless by Hung Tien, trembling with anger and unable to say a word. Du Kuang, having his bloodline drained by Hung Tien, had no strength left to resist. He collapsed to the ground, stammering and begging Hung Tien to spare him, saying he could pretend nothing had happened. Hung Tien's hands trembled. He deliberately asked him again, "You mean pretend nothing happened and settle the score later, huh?" The Situ Imperial Mansion had pushed him to this point, and now they wanted his forgiveness. It was truly ridiculous. How could he not understand the ways of the Situ people? To deal with them, the best way was to hunt them down to the last one. To this day, he still couldn't forget the humiliation of the past 3 years, when he went from a genius to a piece of trash despised by everyone. Even his family had become his enemies because of it. Only he knew how to overcome the pain and guilt of these 3 years. Hung Tien had resolved to take revenge, and draining Du Kuang's bloodline was just the first step of his vengeance. Du Kuang's lion spirit beast fell from the sky. Du Kuang hurriedly followed it with his eyes, realizing that his spirit beast bloodline was about to be destroyed. He immediately changed his attitude, begging Hung Tien to stop, admitting he was wrong. Du Kuang cast aside his dignity, kowtowing and begging Hung Tien to forgive him, not to cripple him. But nothing he did could move Hung Tien. A stream of blood shot out as the vines of the World Tree pulled out of Du Kuang's chest. He spat out blood, then fell to the ground. Du Kuang, though pushed to this point by Hung Tien, was still very aggressive. He slammed his hand and gritted his teeth, threatening him, "You won't die a peaceful death. It's either you or me." Hung Tien walked over and stomped on him with his foot, knocking him unconscious. Fu Koan and Bao Quan were utterly bewildered. No one could believe that Hung Tien actually dared to cripple Du Kuang. With Du Kuang crippled, Hung Tien turned his attention to the other two. Fu Koan and Bao Quan began to feel afraid. Fu Koan tried to regain his composure. He said to Bao Quan, "Don't be afraid of him. Even if he activated his second spirit beast bloodline, it must have consumed a huge amount of energy. After fighting for so long, he's probably running on fumes now." Bao Quan believed his words. He would join forces with Fu Koan once more. Hung Tien just smiled and said to him, "Then then pointed behind him. You idiot, look behind you. Thieu Koan hurriedly turned his head to look, only to find that Bao Quan had fled for his life. Hung Tien took the opportunity while Thieu Koan wasn't paying attention to him. He kicked him in the face from behind. A stream of fresh red blood spurted out, knocking him to the ground. Madame Neum immediately ran over. She seemingly couldn't believe her eyes. Her talented son had actually been defeated. The result of today's first match left everyone speechless. Du Quan was crippled. Bao Quan was scared away. Thieu Neum was knocked off the arena. Hung Tien had truly won amidst everyone's astonished gazes. All the witnesses to the match looked at him with different eyes. The preparatory class of Thong Tien Academy had always been occupied by the Situ Imperial Mansion and the descendants of noble families. This time, it was unexpected that Hung Tien could actually make a comeback. Fatty Tam held his head. He said to Vong Khan and Tran Lam, a peerless genius, the Hung Tien of that day has returned. Hung Tien stood on the competition stage, high-fiving the little piglet. He had finally been able to reclaim his honor. Finey also began to see him in a different light at this moment. She muttered in her head, perhaps I should change the way I interact with him. Hung Tien turned to face the judge and asked him, can you announce the results now? He was startled by Hung Tien and hurriedly announced the results. There are now 4 people on the stage. The 4 people entering the preparatory class of Thong Tien Academy are Hung Tien, Ninggu. On the second day at Tan Chao Academy, while Hung Tien was sitting and cultivating, Fai Ni unexpectedly knocked on his door. Just seeing Fai Ni made him even angrier. Fai Ni took the food box from the servant's hands, telling her to go back first, as she had something to discuss with Hung Tien. Fai Ni acted as if nothing had happened. She said to Hung Tien, seeing an old friend, won't you invite me in to sit for a while? Hung Tien was utterly shameless. What good old friend. Did she not remember what she did to him in the past? It seems her skin is getting thicker and thicker. Fai Ni let Hung Tien's words go in one ear and out the other. She walked into his room naturally. Then, she began to arrange the food on the table, inviting him to eat. Hung Tien sat opposite her. He deliberately asked, Fai Ni, a man and a woman alone together, aren't you afraid Du Huyet will get jealous? Du Huyet now seemed to be just a name to her. She giggled and said to Hung Tien, so what if he's jealous? Anyway, he'll just kill someone when he finds out. It's no big deal to me. Besides, if they know I'm Du Huyet's woman, who in this academy would dare to touch me? Would you? Hung Tien dare? Hung Tien suddenly grabbed her arm. He moved closer to her, his eyebrows furrowed. He emphasized each word to her. I even dared to cripple Du Quang, you idiot. Do you think I wouldn't dare? Fai Ni naturally felt a sense of fear, demanding that Hung Tien let her go. She came here today because she had something to find him for. Hung Tien roughly let go of her hand. He impatiently urged her to say it quickly. Fai Ni rubbed her arm. She raised her voice and told Hung Tien not to be so immoderate. This attitude of Fai Ni's amused Hung Tien. Could it be that she still wanted him to pamper her? Fai Ni sighed, then recounted to Hung Tien, to be honest, in yesterday's match, I wanted to see you defeated, to be crippled once again. That way, it would prove that my original decision, what I did that year, was correct. But your performance shocked me too much. Therefore, I want to make a deal with you. Hung Tien didn't even need to know what deal Fai Ni was talking about. He immediately refused. Her voice suddenly became panicked. She deliberately warned Hung Tien the secret of the divine bloodline mantra on you can't be hidden. You might as well make a deal with me now. I will try my best to persuade Du Huyet to kill you later, rather than sooner. The more Hung Tien listened to her, the more bewildered he became. Kill him? Isn't that a bit funny? Fai Ni then revealed her true purpose. She wanted Hung Tien to tell her the secret of activating the second bloodline, along with how to activate his spirit beast bloodline. Hung Tien only said 2 words to Fai Ni, in your dreams. Hung Tien's attitude made Fai Ni change her attitude once again. She put on a pitiful look and recounted the story of the past to Hung Tien. That year's matter was all Du Huyet's plan alone. Before it happened, I didn't know either. Only later did I understand that you were harmed, but what's done is done. At that time, you were already a cripple. There was no need for me to save you anymore. I could only prioritize my own interests. Her hurtful words to Hung Tien back then were also to make him understand a principle. Personal interests always come first. If one does not look out for oneself, heaven and earth will destroy them. The more Hung Tien listened, the more ridiculous he found it. What a fine personal interest. Since she was so determined, he also had a very simple request. He wanted her to kill Du Huyet. The Fai Ni of the present and the Fai Ni of the past were truly different. He couldn't recognize her anymore. Fai Ni immediately became agitated. She stood up, shouting at Hung Tien, you mean there's no room for negotiation? Hung Tien picked up a piece of cake. From the very beginning, there was nothing to negotiate with a woman like Fai Ni. While chewing, he kindly reminded her of something. The Tien Kiet C trial that you signed up for every 3 years is about to start. Now I'm very grateful that you also signed me up back then. The Tien Kiet C trial held once every 3 years is a transcendent existence above all worldly dynasties. Normally, only those with superior talent and cultivators who have practiced for no less than 20 years can. Sign up. That year, the cunning Phi Ni deceived Hung Tien, not only signing up for herself, but also for him. And the Tien Kiet Si is incredibly mysterious, transcending the mortal world. Once registered, for the next 3 years, no matter who the registrant is, where they are, or what they're doing, their body will be pulled into the Tien Kiet Si until the trial ends, and they can return. This is the kind of trial that one must participate in once registered. And the reason the Tien Kiet Si is so coveted is that one can obtain many things and opportunities that are not even seen in the mortal cultivation world. Phi Ni vaguely understood the implication in Hung Tien's words. Could it be that he wanted to threaten her? Could it be that he wanted to kill her in the Tien Kiet Si? Hung Tien smiled. He reassured her not to be so afraid. He stood up and continued to speak to her. Since you already know I have a secret, then at that time, how could I not give you a little surprise? Phi Ni's visit to Hung Tien today not only yielded nothing, but also got her anger by him. Returning with a belly full of anger, she would wait and see what secret Hung Tien wanted to show her. That night, he paced back and forth, wanting only to find Tu Cam quickly. This time he had crippled Du Quang, so he couldn't stay at Tan Chao Academy for long. Hung Tien put on that mask again, continuing to search for traces of Tu Cam within. Tan Chao Academy. Hung Tien ran to the place of the disciple from the other day. He pushed open the door and entered, scaring the soul out of him. He asked him, "How's the matter I asked you to do? Is there any news of Tu Cam?" The guy appeared extremely afraid of Hung Tien. He answered Hung Tien in a very respectful tone. How would I dare not to do what senior brother asked? He then handed Hung Tien a register. He had gone through all the slave records of the past 3 years for Hung Tien. He flipped through the pages of the register, and indeed, there was a discovery of a girl named Tu Cam. As soon as Hung Tien heard the name Tu Cam, he became anxious, just wanting to know where Tu Cam was. After a moment of checking, he told Hung Tien Tu Cam was sent to Blood God Mountain. He also told Hung Tien, according to the records, this girl named Tu Cam was sent there more than 2 years ago, and there has been no news since. Hung Tien snatched the book from his hand. The words that appeared before him made Hung Tien extremely uncomfortable. Tu Cam served as bait. Hung Tien frowned in confusion and asked him, what does serving as bait mean? The disciple hesitated and explained to Hung Tien, senior brother, to be honest, you know what fish bait is, right? Human bait has a similar meaning, except it's not for catching fish. The more Hung Tien listened, the more indignant he felt. He gritted his teeth and confirmed once more what he said. If not catching fish, then what? Who is using people as bait? Hung Tien's attitude made him extremely scared. He also really wanted to tell Hung Tien, but the information was limited. Moreover, this was not something a manager like him could know. Hung Tien turned away. He requested of him, prepare a map of Blood God Mountain for me. The disciple kindly advised Hung Tien with a few words. You are young. You must be a genius of Instructor Lam's Tien La Courtyard. Getting into the preparatory class of Thong Tien Academy is not a problem. Blood God Mountain is a place of great peril where lives are lost easily. The academy has long listed it as a forbidden area. Inside, there are many terrifying existences that make people scared just by hearing about them. You shouldn't be so reckless. Tu Cam was in such a dangerous situation. How could he have the mood to worry about other things? He shouted at the disciple to quickly get him the map. As soon as Hung Tien took the map, he rushed towards Blood God Mountain. In this world, besides his parents, Tu Cam was his family. He would definitely not let anything happen to Tu Cam. At the same time, at the base of Blood God Mountain, Tuet Ni had also decided to go inside. Phi Ni followed behind her, trying her best to persuade her not to go inside, because Phi Ni knew well that Blood God Mountain was too dangerous. The murderous aura inside was overwhelming. 4 ordinary people to go in, let alone cultivate. Just staying inside would require consuming a large amount of vital energy to resist the invasion of the murderous aura. Once Tuet Ni had made up her mind, it was hard to change. She resolutely said to Phi Ni, sister, say no more. Losing to Hung Tien is the greatest humiliation of my life. Although Blood God Mountain is dangerous, the murderous aura here is just right to help me cultivate a sword technique with extremely heavy, malevolent energy. Right now, I have cultivated to a critical step. This time, entering Blood God Mountain, I must cultivate it to great completion, and my realm will also have a breakthrough. At that time, Hung Tien will definitely not be my opponent. Phi Ni tried her best to stop Tuet Ni. She brought up the Situ Imperial Mansion again. At that time, they will enter Blood God Mountain to handle a major affair. Tuet Ni can wait and go in with them. Tuet Ni raised her hand, signaling for Phi Ni to stop talking. She couldn't wait any longer. Right now, she only wished she could increase her strength several times over and kill Hung Tien. Then she left Tuet Ni behind and ran straight into Blood God Mountain. In Tuet Ni's mind, besides Hung Tien, she also carried a hatred for the one who stole her first kiss. How could she wait when Phi Ni asked her to, when she had so many enemies? Phi Ni really couldn't handle her younger sister. She understood that Tuet Ni's aptitude was even stronger than Du Huyet's or even Hung Tien's, but this personality of hers really needed to be honed. If only she could be more composed than Hung Tien, or even a little more cunning, it would be better. Phi Ni suddenly felt strange, not understanding why she was thinking of Hung Tien at this moment. On the other hand, Hung Tien had also gone deep into Blood God Mountain, which was also a forbidden area of Tan Chao. The academy also forbade disciples from entering Blood God Mountain. It was said that only the low-profile, mysterious, and unseen deans could enter and exit Blood God Mountain. Hung Tien observed from a high place. The aura here was extremely strange. He couldn't sense any life aura at all. The deeper he went, the more he could feel a thick, murderous aura rushing towards him. But he was already used to the sea of corpses and blood of the Overlord's ghost face, so these murderous auras had no effect on him for the time being. Hung Tien thought it over and over. Why were Chu Cam and the other slaves sent to Blood God Mountain? He really wanted to know what was hidden in this place. The World Tree suddenly appeared. She sensed that this place was extremely terrifying. Hung Tien turned his head and asked her, "What do you sense?" The World Tree closed its eyes. It slowly sensed the world around it. Hung Tien stood behind, watching silently. Because he knew the characteristics of his spirit beast bloodline, the World Tree was extremely sensitive to auras and was best at avoiding dangerous places. That year, he and his beautiful master accidentally entered a primordial chaos zone and accidentally discovered a handful of soil, and in that handful of chaotic soil was a seed of the World Tree. Chaos is the material that created the heavens and earth, capable of transforming into worlds and evolving all things. The World Tree is even more mysterious and extraordinary, being the origin of billions of plant life forms. After sensing for a while, the plant twisted and said to Hung Tien, "I am still a young seed. I can't sense too much. I can only sense that in this mountain, there seems to be a powerful being sleeping." The more Hung Tien listened, the more confused he became. He wanted to know more about the powerful being. What is it? What kind of thing is it? Is it human? The World Tree didn't know either. She only knew that it was about to awaken. Hung Tien continued to ask, "Then can you sense the aura of a human, a girl about my age?" The World Tree continued to close its eyes and sense. She pointed inside and said to Hung Tien, "Over there, there's the aura of several humans." A moment later, Hung Tien followed the direction of the World Tree and then